in this particular case, as a spiritual, practitioner and a spiritual example of a spiritual person, so to speak. But for me, I do not take this as a, how would I say this, like a big responsibility, a big shoulder, and big shoes to fulfill. I just take it as, it is something that I will look into, and if I can manage, then I will do my best. If I cannot manage, then what to do? Very, very sorry. I don't know, somebody else should come and replace my duties. So my name is Vitям Murihановым. I am Tibetan. I am born in Amur, and now 33 years old. I finished rigorous studies and training in the Tibetan Buddhism part. I've also learned English and Western, how would I say, history, Western tradition, Western ideology, foundation of the Western society, norms and so forth, beliefs and so forth. I must also say that the most incredible thing is to know other people's tradition. It is like a understanding to many things. I always believe that to be a practitioner and spiritual follower, one must understand human beings in the most deepest level possible. We cannot just be stuck with a small little world and be stuck in our own little system, in our own little very hard-headed brain. I believe it is important that we must, like the water, fresh water, river stream goes down and merges into ocean for water, and just like that. It merges, nature is always merging into each other, and then wonderful elements arise from that. I believe by knowing human beings at the deepest level, so many wonderful things arise. Of course, as we thank Donatьte now, I will have it this morning as a teaching or as a discussion. So, however, for me, anything is fine. So, whatever everyone wishes, and whatever you take decides, I will comply with that. So, we have some time in the morning. Basically, the subject matter that I was asked to talk about today was hope beyond difficult times with wisdom and kindness. I think we all know this very well. From the dawn of human, how would I say, society, when human beings were first evolving in the world, we had what are called the Homo sapiens, Homo erectus and so forth, and later on the Neanderthals and so forth. Now I can't remember all the gradual names, and then of course we had the prehistoric times of the first, the Big Bang theory, lives forming in the ocean when elements and nature meet together, and the first life forms in water so forth. So, you see, nature has its way of living, where it's a very simple way. To survive, one must protect its own, how would I say, species. And it must hunt to continue its own species. It must hunt to provide for its own species. And it must be able to provide safe passage and safe places for its species to live on, and for its, newborn to live on. For nature, it's very simple. They also follow Mother Nature's way of how Mother Nature is. But human beings with a very high complexity of emotion and mental capacity have developed something called I take everything what I want and whatever I see. And I take whatever is others, I take whatever is yours because I demand it and I want it. Then of course through that evolution started, we have countless wars that we have experienced and we have witnessed. I think every generation of human being has seen somewhat amount of wars. The wars were fought, if you really look into the purpose, there was not really much purpose. It was all about one's ego. I really like the saying that the war is man's ego game. It is kind of like that in a way. To prove one's mighty, how would I say, strength and fearsome act. They put a lot of effort in putting fear, forceful fear in others' view and heart, and to tremendously damage the life of innocent people. And that is considered to be a big achievement, yet it is, I think, one of the most biggest ignorances which human beings have developed. How to have hope in such a tumultuous turmoil time, I think is a very tremendously difficult thing to say. Yet what I would say is, we are not here to change the world. We are not here to change people's way of thinking. But we are definitely can do one thing, is that we can at least improve who we are and what we are within ourselves. Our mind and emotion, it is in our hands. In no one else's hands, isn't it? Isn't that correct? You see, people in the past, kings, queens, all the way from Europe to Asia, to China, to Mongolia, Turkey, Persia, all of these countries, emperor, empress, kings, queens, and warlord, all wanted to do one thing: live an eternal life, find an elixir to live forever and never die, because they believed that they were chosen